And with that, hello to our show. Today the casters will be me, Meister Fluffbot, and
Miyazokama. First time doing this, so we'll have some fun.
I think I'll have to boost you a bit. Talk.
Yeah, hello.
Oh yeah, I think that is better. Maybe feedback in chat if somebody's listening, if this is fine. Oh wait, no. Yes? Yeah. Everything's fine. I'm confusing myself. Um, I think it's good. Just lay back, do your best. I mean, we've already talked about it. Like casting and roles, etc. So
Oh, yeah, I've done it before for Smash Bros, so I kind of get the flow. But it's definitely it's an interesting thing to get into. That's for sure.
oh yeah.
Also,
Oh
having a lot of fun looking at these players because there's a lot of questions I get when I see where certain people are going, as well as it caught me off guard seeing a D1 in the lobby, but it's approved, so we get to watch that going on.
damn. Okay, we gotta keep an eye out for that. By the way, this is my second time casting at all, so
Ooh,
we're gonna have a great time.
infinite more experience than I.
Oh.
The
I
expert
am. I just wanted to say I'm your teacher now.
sensei.
Sensei, please no, no! I kept it in, and you destroyed it. Why?
Had a vomit. Sorry. Yeah, no, I mean, the fun part of, having that diamond in the lobby is if you beat him, you get a brag forever.
The bragging rights.
You can be like, hey, I deserve your rank, bro.
I
You lost to a silver player.
Give me your damn account now.
Hand it over.
Hand it over. This is no fun and games anymore. Okay, it seems we're getting ready. One player is left. I'd say the team that is too late gets a penalty. In the case, like, they have to bake cookies for the whole team.
Right, that sounds like a good punishment.
Especially sending it over to Europe.
The shipping fees, it'd be fun. It would definitely make me never want to be late because I don't want to pay. Especially because you have to make sure that they're not like stale by the time they get to someone, because that thing will be rock hard by the time it ships.
I mean, if you're lucky, it's rock hard.
True.
I'd prefer it rock hard, not gonna lie.
It'd be a new species of
Muffin.
bacteria by the time it makes it to you, or a muffin. Yeah.
Oh god damn. Oh yeah, I said cookie, right? I meant muffin. My head was like, oh yeah, a muffin.
No, you did say cookie. You did say cookie.
Yeah, I just noticed. I apologize. Oh damn. Oh. Okay, on this fine evening, I hope you guys are all well. Apparently, yes, the last player is on his way, so we will be starting soon. I don't think well, let's see if this works. I set something fancier with the help of Rabbit Panda from our community. And we'll see if this works out or if I fucked it over.
We'll say I'm a little disappointed that I'm assuming we're not seeing, if they're in LCS, or if we're not seeing Phil's to Keo top lane. He has what I'd say is the meta top lane as his entire champ pool. And I was like, that'd be interesting to watch because every single pick he had up his sleeve was one of the best top laners at the moment.
Tell me about it. I don't know.
Yeah, because for a while, especially pro play meta, it's been Cassante and Jax with like Fjord up there have been pretty dominant. I also personally feel Yone kind of got a spike with the last update because he has the option to rush Infinity Edge, which is a disgusting option.
Have you heard about AP Jax?
I've seen it in my games. Zhonya's Hourglass is not fun to deal with.
Nope. I also think
he gets to leap on you, dodge, go into stasis, and then dodge again, and it's kind of insane.
Yeah, I think it's very unhealthy right now. I hope it will get worked soon. He's fine as a split pusher.
The character's is really unhealthy right now.
By the way, okay, the bans are currently a bit wonky. So the first ban on TRO's side was Nami. I apologize for that. I wasn't able to fix it in time. There comes the second ban from the Troglodytes, so let's see what they're gonna ban next. The Vex! By the way, I do think that Nami is always a good ban, because Nami is just so disgusting with a lot of ADCs, especially with her E currently. I'm a bit sad that they took away from her crowd control and just put her damage on E.
That is a Nami was one of the most played of one of their mid laners, so it is Probably a good ban to get out, especially if they have more mobile characters. I know few people in this matchup have Irelia in their games. I know mid and a top both played Irelia, so that character would kind of shut her down.
By the way, the site of the mental papier, I hope I pronounce it right, banned Wukong right there, and I'm very sorry that I cannot capitalize the names. It is not in the grasp of our system. By the way, the Galio ban just went through in... Okay, my HUD is broken by a lot.
I was gonna say, one of the things I had saw, that man has some crack stats on Galio. If that thing made it through ban, they had to have been baiting it. But I don't think they have anything they want to counterpick a Galio with.
Here comes the Gangplank ban. I mean, Gangplank is very much disgusting if you let him scale.
He's a very obnoxious champion. The game gets late, but as well as if you just coordinate with your team pretty well, you can kind of avoid him out. But he does also benefit a lot as well from the new crit changes that came through because he's getting Infinity Edge second item.
I mean, regardless as how useful he is, his ult is team fight changing.
Yeah, the amount of times I've just laid against the Gangplank and he pressed R and got 2 kills and he was just farming wave. Yeah, almost like, dang.
Oh,
Wish
God.
I could do that, bro.
Mercy! Oh, there come very meta picks right here. Okay, the picks are not working either. Okay, something is wrong in this HUD. I apologize. Well, the Maokai was picked by Team Mental Papier. So we got 2 very much meta picks right here. If the Maokai is AP.
B1 and R1 Maokai. Oh, and the R2 Caitlyn. They are free to kind of get whatever they want into it, but since they did ban Nami, they can't really get the rushdown counter into that Caitlyn.
True. Evolution Nami,
So
right?
that kind of bites themselves in the foot. That's something that they would have wanted to run, but they also might have been afraid of them running it. Since they do get 2 picks right off the bat, they would have had to pick Nami first pick if they wanted to do it themselves.
Okay, there comes a Kai'Sa against Caitlyn. I don't know if I like the matchup, to be honest, because Kai'Sa just has a less range, doesn't she?
Yeah, no, it's definitely... She's going to be under tower a lot of the game, and it's going to be up to Zyra to kind of keep her in lane. Yeah, Caitlyn's just going to have her shove the entire time. Honestly, if I were their jungler, I'd be focused on getting all those early drakes, because you're just going to have Caitlyn ready to rotate every single time.
Yeah, this HUD does not work. Troglodytes just picked Kai'Sa and Zyra, as we just talked about. So, Zyra could be game-changing here for the Kai'Sa, but that's probably why they picked it. Just let Kai'Sa scale, Zyra deal with the early game in lane. Braum.
It also is the comfort pick for their support, because they do play almost only Zyra, so it could also just be they're going for what they know best.
Which is fair. Sometimes just taking the comfy pick makes you win a bit harder.
Yeah, I've seen a million times. You'll see someone who counterpicks a character, and they don't know how to play the character. They would have been better off playing a character who's not good in the matchup just because they're better at them.
Yeah.
Ooh, Camille. That's always a good one. If you're playing for Kai'Sa scaling, you need that character gone because she will just dive past and isolate her for the team.
True. And Camille is just a menace.
Actually, the other team banned Camille. That's my bad.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's worth it for them, in my opinion.
I don't know.
Because they have Braum and Maokai to collapse the Camille, which is...
I think it depends on what they play on top lane, because Camille has, like,
the lane matchup is definitely what they can play for. Yeah.
There comes the Syndra
ban,
ban,
as for team identity, it's definitely like Camille might win lane, but she wouldn't win game.
Yeah, might be.
But if they're fighting for 2 prio lanes, if they want to get prio top and bot, then that might be what they're going for.
There comes the Victor ban, by the way. So we've got Camille, Victor on the side of the mental papier. Oh god. And on
the overlay is struggling.
It's struggling very hard. I apologize. This is
3 characters shown, 4 bans shown. There's a Lux ban.
I'm trying my best. Oh yeah, the Lux Syndra ban from Team Troglodyte.
We're trying to keep out that siege comp that they were kind of building with Caitlyn Braum.
Yeah, we'll change it up for the next game. We'll just I just use the in-game screen. So, oh cool, Darius is showing up.
I can't say I'm a fan of the Darius here. It might be good for lane, though he is kind of set up to be counterpick, which is already scary for Darius. But it's going to be rough getting his 5 stacks on, and even when he does, like Braum and Mount Carrot is going to hold him in place.
That is
So
absolutely true.
He has to be able to cut through those two really fast to be able to do anything this game. Ooh, and the Alawi. Oh, no.
I would have loved to see an Alawi. Isn't Alawi Timsy's main? I think it's their top laner, right?
I wasn't able to see.
Wait, I'm on the wrong team side. Never mind.
Alawi is always an interesting one, and she would have worked well with what they were going for with the team comp, because basically if Kassadin goes in for a dive of Mumu, they just delete whoever goes in. And then outside of that, they just kind of poke them down with Caitlyn until they can get a fission.
They have a great split of the damage as well with Caitlyn and Olaf, just like Olaf being a real menace into, especially against Darius and Amumu, I'd say. Even Kassadin should have problems dealing with an Olaf, because he can just stick on them and keep his ult active. So I'm curious how they think about playing around it.
Yeah, no, Troglodytes definitely are going to want to get a scale, but they want to make sure Olaf can't just run down Kai'Sa Zyra the later half of the game, because the entire team's going to be collapsing Kassadin late game when he goes in. So it's going to be up to, Zyra Kai'Sa for scaling and doing damage. But I do think as long as TMP is just holding them hostage early game, keeping every objective down and just snowballing off of massive gold lead, the game's just free for them.
On the side of the Troglodytes, you already said they want to scale, so I'll be hyped to see some mid lane ganks right here.
Definitely Sylas can still be abused early, and the magic resist will play in a lot for Kassadin. So I wouldn't be surprised if the first few levels, mid lane has Prio, and then they'll start shifting in Sylas's favor for about mid game.
Didn't he get buffed or anything? Or is this my imagination? Because Sylas is like clapping ass right now.
I think it was just the jungle changes were really good for Sylas, so he's become a really good flex pick because you can throw mid or jungle, and team play that's really good because you can grab him early, and they won't know which lane he's going into, as well as just like the ults at his disposal. He's got a Mumu ult, he's got Kassadin ult, he's got Zyra ult. It's not a fun thing to have to be thrown back in your face. Actually, Kassadin ult's awful, but
Sylas X Kassadin. Can he use it once, or can he use it like a duration?
He can only use it once, I'm pretty sure.
That sucks.
So it's not as great, but it is a blink on Sylas, which is backline access. So while it's less for the damage, which is what Kassadin loves it for, the mobility does become pretty nice in Sylas. Yeah. It's like when you use Zoe ult in Sylas. It kind of sucks, but you can get a goofy E off on someone and pick out someone you wouldn't have been able to normally.
I mean, I think the Kai'Sa ult is here the weakest, to be honest, because if he's already on them, it's kind of strange to dash again. It can be helpful,
his ult grab range is pretty far, and you can do it off LICC, so like he can get a stray Maokai ult, and he can follow that up from like half a screen away.
Yeah, so, but that's pretty niche. Well, let's see if he ever uses it.
The worst ult by far is definitely Darius ult, because he can't stack bleed, and that is how that ult works.
Oh,
so
true.
he'll get like 80 true damage.
True.
And that's it.
I mean, 80 true damage is a menace if you only have 18 HP left.
If they only have 80 HP, it has a use. It's just really
not
bad.
Good.
I think that's one of the ults where he does the voice line, where he's like, this ult's garbage, because he does have voice lines for certain ults that, right as aware, kind of suck.
Well, I think it comes down to team fight coordination, especially if Troglodytes goes for a team like a late game comp. I don't think I've seen them coordinate yet, and I have seen the team Mental Papier coordinate team fights, and they were pretty strong. So this might pose a challenge.
The team fights are definitely harder for Troglodytes to pull off as well, because they just have a lot more that can go wrong. All TMP has to worry about is just holding you away from them and letting Caitlyn just poke you out and then punishing you when you go in. But it does become a numbers game. If Kai'Sa can get to late enough game, it becomes a lot more difficult because they will blast through the front line and delete the back line.
They gave a question in for me. I'd say as we are waiting, I'll answer it. Meister Fluffbot, are you looking forward for your game next week That's McDonald's Freedom Fighters, isn't it? To be honest, I'm looking forward to any match, so yeah. Glad to have you.
It's fun to get out there. It's fun to play, win or lose.
Exactly.
I signed up for some tournaments for some other games that like I suck at, and I still, it's fun to get your ass beat out a couple times. It teaches you a lot, and it also teaches you, wow, I'm really bad at this game. But you get, more numbers, more people, more exciting brackets because you get to see, people play 3 games and they win. It's like, oh, it's boring. But like, oh, they beat 16 people to get to this grand finals, and they're now ready to go at it.
By the way, I'm stuck in the loading screen. I hope it will be resolved
I'm
soon.
also there. It's
yeah, okay.
0%.
Tell me if you're in game. The last time I had some issues with the spectating. So.
Well, I'm connecting overseas, so that also might have some issues on my end. But
oh no,
I haven't had issues playing on EU servers before. So.
But are you an Australian?
No, I'm American. I'm.
Oh God.
The scum of the earth.
I mean, at least you're not upside down, so you've got that going for you.
I don't know how they keep the blood out of their heads. I'm in.
I don't know. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm in too. I have the bug where it doesn't load. Timmy always says I have to like skip forward, but it's not working.
It was just frozen black for a minute just because the game was still catching up. It loaded us in, but it wasn't in stream delay yet.
Yeah, you guys are not getting chat, so no chat for you. Oh, we are sitting in invade, by the way, so I've just been on point. Let's see if I can do anything here. Can I ask you if you can I forgot that completely. There's a shortcut where you can zoom out in spectator mode even farther. Could you Google that real quick?
Shortcut to zoom out in spectator?
Yeah. I mean, you didn't really miss anything earlier because I was also just seeing a black screen. Okay. Then nothing happened with the invade. It was an interesting idea, though.
That is something you have to do in the config file, so I don't think you can do that during a live game.
Aww. It's Batman. Well,
but it's good to note because being able to see the whole map is nice at times.
You gotta have to count. You will have no wait. Yes, you have no. I'm having a fucking brain fart. Just leave me, okay? Okay, we just saw both junglers starting bot lane side, bot lane. So
yeah, both pathing bot to top. I don't know if I'm a fan of that. It does make the top lane more volatile, so you can get one snowballing. But on the other hand, you do have a really oppressive bot lane with Caitlyn Braum. It might be good to just keep abusing that.
How I feel about like Maokai's early game, because without Liandry's or Demonic's Embrace, he's half a champion, I'd say.
Yeah, he's got lockdown, so he can kind of push someone in. And did this Maokai take? I didn't get a chance to look at the runes. If he took Phase Rush, he can still kind of pull up the gank with that because he can just run out of there. That's why a lot of Maokais have been taking that.
He does indeed have Phase Rush. So you can see the game, right?
Yeah.
Good. I'm at 230 right now, so don't spoil me if you're ahead.
I'm probably a second ahead or behind.
Yeah, that's good. Good enough.
Yeah, it looks like Darius got the first push in. If he can get this crash, it'll be really good for him. So he'll get a reset timer and stay kind of on par with Olaf. He definitely wants to get a snowball going before Olaf hits 6, though, because then it gets a lot harder to take him down.
And I do think that the Darius really much desires being heads up in that game, because Olaf just snowballs so hard.
Yeah, and if Darius is not ahead this game, he's walled out and useless almost the entire game.
That's a great pull up and play with the range of the turret. I mean, he took a tower shot right there, so it wasn't much.
It's a clean pull and E. I don't know if Maokai can do much with this gank.
Especially because he did not get him into turret range. Damn, that might be a kill. No, it's not.
Ooh, that's a flash. It also tells his team that, they're not going to be at risk for a dive bot lane.
Oh, that is a kill there.
Ooh.
Well played.
Well played on Darius.
This Olaf did not respect the E pull range.
This is why we see the blind Darius. He's confident in what he has, and it's showing.
It's pretty similar to Laui, isn't it?
I think Darius is a lot more aggressive than Alawi. Alawi's more, she'll poke you out and punish you if you go on her, whereas Darius will definitely just kind of run in there and get what he wants. But
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of times where a tank will overextend into a Darius and he'll free stack off them, then kill the tank's entire team. So things to watch out for, especially something Maokai should make sure he doesn't do is he shouldn't let Darius ever full stack off him. Even though he can take the damage, his team can't. Bot lane's definitely staying in a spot that's really good for Kai'Sa and Zyra. They're not being held under turret by Caitlyn. That's really good for keeping them breathing room.
I was asked if I'm able to rearrange the scoreboard. What do you mean with... Ah, I'm sorry. Yes, I will do... Absolutely, I'm very sorry. I forgot. The ADC on the ADC position. There we go. Thank you for telling me. I was confused for a bit because I thought you meant the pop scores.
Zyra got a really good root there, but Braum Shield ate almost all that damage.
Yeah, that's because you said that the Zyra is essential to keep the pressure on bot lane, but the Braum just nopes, the Zyra damage is just lost.
Yeah, and they're starting to get kind of low, which is getting more and more uncomfortable for that Kai'Sa. If she's forced to back, it's really bad for her because she wants those levels and she wants that gold.
By the way, in mid lane we are seeing constant fighting, and the CS is on Silas' side, especially because the Kassadin just has less trade potential in the early game, I'd say.
Yeah, no, he's got a decently shorter range, and he only has, you know, so many options. He can only walk towards Silas. Or Silas can dash around a bit, poke with his Q a lot more. And his passive will give him a little more push prio over Kassadin. But he also needs to do something with this prio, because if Kassadin just kind of... If he's pushed in, he's okay with it, as long as you're not getting anything for it.
That is true, yeah. Yeah, the Silas might see a roam before level 6. If he keeps pushing like this. Oh, never mind, the Kassadin is roaming right now. But the bot
camera hasn't moved yet, but Amumu was trying to take Gromp on the red side jungle. Looks like he just gets out. Oh, Maokai...
He has no flash, and that is a kill.
Maokai looked like he was standing there for a second. I wonder if something happened.
Might be talking. It was, by the way, a very, very good play on the Zyra here, because she zoned the Caitlyn away. She could not follow up into the river, where they could have maybe taken a move.
Yeah, as well as Kassadin. Even though they had numbers there, Caitlyn, Braum did have a lot more, you know, health in that fight. So if Maokai, you know, got any CC off, was starting to kite out, then Caitlyn definitely could have racked up some kills there. It is scary for Silas now, though, because we do have a Kassadin level 6, and he just got a good roam. So Silas is now kind of behind on tempo.
That is a very rough situation for the Silas.
Ooh, that root barely missing Caitlyn.
We are seeing a 2-level lead on top lane, and that is what we were exactly talking about. I don't think that this Olaf has, like, in the immediate future, does not really have a chance to get back in the game.
Yeah, no, it's a very volatile lane. When one gets one kill, it's just kind of in their favor for the rest of the lane. You need jungle to kind of interrupt that, or you need a horrible misplay by your opponent.
That is a great escape, and the cannon secure on Kassadin's side. Very important. There comes the ult.
There's an all-in happening top lane.
Yeah.
Darius did miss a Q, and he canceled an auto there. Ooh, this is close.
That was
Ooh,
well
the flash and the missed axe wins that fight for Darius.
That was a very well placed flash right there.
Really showing his comfort on his character.
I do not know if Maokai has enough damage to kill Darius. I do not think so. Yeah.
I think Maokai honestly had that if he threw the little buddy into the bush, because then that damage would have gotten Darius from the first stun, but he threw it more into lane, expecting Darius to kite back, and that costed him his life.
And the Darius, again, just knows how ballsy he can be. He just sat there very confidently and waited for the Maokai.
Yeah, and this puts TMP in a really awkward spot, because now there's 2 win cons in favor of Troglodytes. They've got a snowballing Darius, and they still can play for scaling on their Kai'Sa and Kassadin. They're going to need to find something to do soon, but Caitlyn's no longer keeping the push pressure into the bot lane. So they're losing prio in the one lane that was designed to have prio.
Adding to that, we have not seen much pressure of the Mumu yet. He just invaded once on the bot lane side. even though I think Amumu's strong point is like his early ganks because of his massive amount of CC.
You might see a bit more now that he's hitting 6. He might go for some more aggressive fights, especially with drag being up. But definitely, he is a lot more of a spam ganker, so he would be keeping people in. Honestly, a camp on Darius wouldn't even be bad at this point. They could probably, you know, Olaf steps an inch away from turret, that's his ult, or that's him dead. Not much he can do about it.
I'm always talking about how taking the top lane turret too early is very bad for your top laner because of the, well, you're just pushing him off your like his lane and he's just very unsafe on top side. But in this case, it might be good to push for the top lane turret so that Darius can just run around and be a menace.
Taking top lane turret's good for certain reasons and bad for other reasons. If you're not the first turret down, it's kind of bad because you want to stall it as long as possible. But it also allows you to open up the map, right? So when Olaf's, you know, sitting in their turret this whole game, you know he's not really looking to fight you. So what you can do with that is, you know, you get the Rift Prio, you go for the... Ooh, by the way, that Zyra ult hitting 4 people. Caitlyn ult going out, trying to get the pick. It's blocked by Zyra.
That was
good damage back and forth, but Kasten shows up. If he gets an R stack, he might just have a full team wipe here. It's a very dicey situation for both teams.
They decide to
it's like they both back off. That's probably the proper play. It's very coin flippy on how that fight would go.
They used a lot of resources to get TMP out of there, so I'm not surprised that they chose to play that passively. And the Kassadin as well, he doesn't have to take risks. He gets stronger with time.
That fight go neutral, though, is really bad for TMP again, because, again, they're fighting scalers. They are happy with nothing happening. Yeah, going back to the top lane, yeah, with first turret being down, that gives Darius the option to influence other lanes as well and get that snowball going. Because right now, like, he only has so much time to go do things between each wave crash. So, like, he's still a buff here, but now he has to go back and catch wave. They're suspecting he might be on Rift.
But I don't
Looks
think
like he's
he is.
debating if he wants to, but that cost him a wave, hesitating that long.
He does not have
Camera
yet,
thinks
though.
Zyra clearing ward is definitely the focus here.
I mean, nothing else is going on. Everybody's just walking through the lanes. You can already also watch Kassadin, like, pummel some minions, but
we're seeing XP leads growing more and more. We got, you know, Darius is up 2 levels still. We got Kasten up a level, which is very scary.
And with more CS, and he just got a plating as well. This is very scary.
And he's building rods, so he's going to have quite the level economy over Silas.
Uh-oh. The Silas, yeah, he has lost chapter now. But with the... Oh, he's going for Everfrost, isn't he?
Likely. Definitely more of the CC to lockdown helps what their comp's going for, but Caitlyn's definitely... When you pick a Caitlyn lane, you want to get as many plates as you can early. You want to just get a big gold lead and blow people off of things, but they haven't even cracked a single plate in bot lane.
This is a bit sad, by the way. The Silas just used everything and wasn't able to kill the Kassadin. Yeah, I mean, he started with Doran's shield, and with the Rod, he probably just has too big of a defensive ability.
Yeah, Kados of Aeons is going to keep him up and alive really well. That health per spell is just really nice, and you can kind of farm with his poke. Okay, going for the ult down mid, but Kassadin spots it early enough and just gets away. It's a really good ult that's put on a long cooldown.
That is an easy plating for the Darius on top lane. Thank you very much for showing that. But I think the Darius is fine, even if this just is a farming game now, because even if he gets ganked, he has the 3 kill difference, the 1 level lead. As we can see, he has the absolute domination in the lane itself, because the Olaf cannot step up.
Yeah, he has perma prio. There's not much being done with the prio. Moon's not, you know, looking to get, you know, jungle invades. They did secure Rift a little bit ago, but actually, yeah, no, Olaf secured Rift earlier. That's my bad.
So he's going.
We will have to see this Rift
Silas.
play being used.
That
The issue is
hurts.
it's stuck on Olaf, so he has to get this window while Darius is roaming, and I don't think he's going to get wave under in time.
And he has to be careful of the Darius returning as well, because he can't get out of the turret. By the way, it's very good that this kill landed on the Kassadin, just aiding his snowball as well. It's always better to have 2 strong players than just 1 strong player. I like
Yeah, 1
seeing
strong
that.
just means more things. Like, the comp that's designed here for TMP, it's mostly Kate and Silas are going to be the only characters that are strong. Olaf, he got the snowball, so top lane was basically which one snowballed first, and Darius won that. So, it's between Silas and Caitlyn now, and it looks more like Caitlyn's going to have a lot of pressure because Silas is just so far behind Kassadin. But there's just so much that can go wrong for Caitlyn. She gets hit by one stray Amumu Q, and she's going to die. The stray Zyra root, anything. It's just the whole team can follow up, and that's the entire damage source of their team dead.
They have an insane engage potential, and especially with the Darius being like ahead as he is, it's very dangerous for the tanks to try to.
Oh, we got another all-in top. Ooh, it's looking a lot in Olaf's favor here. He might get a turnaround.
Wow.
He did. That's a 650 gold from that shutdown. Oh boy.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you something in regards to the top lane. I mean, now my question is kind of annulled because he just got the turnaround. I do think it was especially because Darius just had no mana left, so he was a bit disrespectful towards the Olaf power there. But I wanted to ask you, because they did hover, like Mental Papier did hover the Illaoi first. Do you think that would have gone differently this lane with an Illaoi?
It was the Darius that hovered Illaoi, right? Making sure I'm
No.
not mixing that up.
Hello.
It's Olaf. Yeah, with the Olaf, it definitely is nice into Darius because it's very hard for Darius to all in you, and even if you do, the Illaoi damage in ult can kind of snuff him out. The main fear with the Illaoi matchup is, one, Illaoi's not an amazing champion. There's some really good Illaoi players that make it up for that, but she definitely has some great flaws.
By the way, the Darius just paid the Olaf back for his overstaying with Olaf overstaying.
It's the top lane curse, you know? I can't tell you how many games I've played where I greeted for, 50 more gold and it cost me everything.
It is a great steal from the Salas on the Mumu, but I don't think it's enough. No, it is not.
Ooh, almost got Kaisa as well, but even then, Cassin gets another kill either situation. It's not looking good. They're getting the picks back where they can, but it's just not proving worth it for them right now.
It's still a 3k gold difference, which is very difficult to overcome, plus a dragon on the side of Troglodytes.
There's nothing game-ending yet in terms of plays that are coming up, but it's definitely just the burn for time. TMP's going to have to find something to get them back in the game. They're going to need a really good team player. They're going to need just some crucial picks from someone overstepping.
There's also, that's a big reason why I'm not a big fan of Caitlyn, actually, because if she gets behind once, she's freaking useless, not gonna lie. She's just, as you said, she's easy to pick, especially with their team comp. She got a lot of farm on bot lane, but if she does not have the items, she's just like tickling them. That was, by the way.
Ooh, the Maokai
Yeah.
W chasing all the way over there looked really, really cool, but also got him killed.
That was very
There's
sad
Silas
for
taking
the
Cassin ult for
Maokai.
just the flash to get out. Yeah, that's the thing you'll see a lot with Vi. Vi's a really common pick in pro play right now, right? And you'll see her into Zeri. And you'll see Zeri's take her through walls behind turrets when she goes for the ult. And the same thing happened to Maokai there. He was taken under a turret with his W follow. So while it's nice to have that point and click follow, it also can, work out against you, because it can put you in a really bad spot.
And that is a
Another kill on
4-0
Kassadin.
with a full stacked tier and a Rod of Ages finished. This is
That also
not
might
looking
be a
good.
drag for Troglodytes as well. We don't see Maokai rushing over there, so they should secure that in time.
They
and
have
they don't
no
have
vision with the pink port being there for a while now.
Looking to collapse some Darius, but he's just leaving out, so they're losing out on more pressure. This is looking really, really bad in terms of TMP.
The gold difference has also jumped up 1k again, so...
Ugh. But yeah, that's the thing with the Caitlyn pick too, is just it's really good in the hands of when you and your team can play it really well, but the issue is it does fall behind really bad. It's something that's set up that it's hard to fall behind, but then if you do, it's just you're not anything anymore.
I think the Maokai tried to reduce the pressure on top lane from the Olaf, it failed twice, but I do think that I would have rather seen the shift onto the other lanes. I mean, everybody hates the sentence, losing lanes, don't gank a losing lane, but in this case I do think that it would have been better to just prioritize the top lane to the bot lane to try to get the Caitlyn ahead.
Yeah, I mean, with the Olaf as well, all lanes were losing to some part. Caitlyn was the only lane that wasn't behind. And it's definitely as well, even if Darius is ahead, as long as Caitlyn's strong and they can stall Darius with, Maokai, Braum, she does shut down Darius, but the issue is there just wasn't the focus on their ADC, and now they can't really do much about it. With the team getting wiped again, all 3 picked out. It's a 4v4, but again, their gold is just much higher than theirs.
Look at Kesselden finishing his second item. This is Darius as well. They have no chance to compete in a team fight. Maokai going in there even though the turret is already down, securing the kill for Troglodytes.
I'll be surprised they even pick Cassid anymore this game, because I don't think it's possible. He's got the lifeline from his Archangels, his rods just make him tankier and tankier, and he's got, you know, Blink on a 2-second cooldown. It's not much that he can be caught out by at this point. They don't have the CC and they don't have the damage to keep him down long enough.
By the way, as we are speaking about the champions being behind, Sylas is also a very rough case. Just because you have to go in. Any AP melee, I think, has a difficult time being behind because you have to go into the enemies and have no easy way to escape. If you don't have enough damage to burst them, you're just stuck.
Yeah, a lot of the AP melees kind of get like one thing they can do when they're behind. Like Diana, it's like she can just ult the team. Yeah. That's it. Then she'll just blow up. You'll get, you know, Sylas, same thing. He can steal an ult, try to make a play, and be utility. But then after that, like, that's all he can do. Mordekaiser, same thing. Like, he can ult someone, take them out of the fight for 7 seconds. And a lot of times he'll get killed in that fight, too. But, you know, sometimes, like, what it takes is just you ult the enemy jungler and then keep them out just in time for his steal. And that's what you fish for to get back in the game. It's interesting, though, because I felt like TMP's draft was quite a bit stronger here, but it's just kind of come down to, you know, they're better at their characters. They got better situations in their favor.
We just saw how easy it was for the Darius to shut down the Olaf right there. It's just a gigantic difference between 2.5 items, or 1.5 items difference.
And that's League bounties working, you know, great magic too. Getting more gold onto people who are already ahead. It's not always a big fan of seeing that mechanic, but it is what the Riot devs have deemed.
I mean, it is kind of the case of playing around it. I do think that the bounties are actually a great addition to the game, because before, I mean, the bounties were added because of the changes to the map. I believe. It's so far behind me that I barely remember.
I remember I wasn't there for it. It was just the hope of, like, when you play certain characters that have to go in, it becomes a lot harder to, you know, deny when you get like 700 gold bounties if you're like an engaged character. So it becomes kind of awkward of like you have to go for these engages, but you also don't want to give these bounties. So it makes you end up having to play a lot safer compared to your opponent, even though you're miles ahead. Which at the top level, bounties are like nothing. They rarely come into play. But at lower levels, definitely like, I like the idea of objective bounties. I just hope that it wasn't in conjunction with individual bounties.
Yeah, I think it was just Riot's attempt to their problem, to their snowballing problem they had in the game, to fix it. And it did fix the snowballing problem, but as you said, it's kind of, well, asymmetrical. It's not really the same for all
it does more lower elo games, definitely, where people don't throw bounties as much. But I've definitely seen, you know, even in some mid-tier, high-tier ranked games, people throw those bounties all the time. You'll see, you know, watch any kind of League streamer, and you'll see challenger lobbies where they just throw 3K down the drain over doing something dumb. So it is nice because you do get to come back in the game and it's never over. But on the other hand, it's like you can make less mistakes when you're ahead.
Good world right there, Tipsy. I saw that. But this is just you know,
they picked them out. Caitlyn's running for her life, but again, like there's not much she can do from this position.
I mean, that's
Caston just picks her out.
That flash was a bit ballsy, by the way. I don't think he needed that. But he wanted to get back to the team faster, I guess. Yeah, he's picking up that kill as well. I am really astonished by the teamwork of Troglodytes right here. They're playing very well, just going in, and we just saw the mid lane. They didn't land any engages, and they just fell back. They controlled the vision, set up a trap, and picked them off, picked Team Mantle Papier off when they didn't have any vision.
Olaf's going in for the 1v4, and it does not work in his favor with the Mastery Flash. We love to see it.
Wee! I do think that this game is not turnable anymore.
It's definitely not, and dare I say, that looked like a mental boom play right there, but definitely a kind of last ditch, might as well try because not much left to do. But at this point, it just comes down to, you know, Troglodyte just plays it, relatively safe. It just gets, objective secured. The game's just kind of theirs. They have a Soul coming up in 4 or 5 minutes. They have Baron up. You can just set it up and get it. Caston's hit 16 already.
Soul. Oh god.
Yeah, Mountain Soul on Caston. Caston's 4 levels up on Silas. Rod of Ages is an item that was really only created for like 2 characters in the game. That being Caston and Arias, so.
I'm hyped to play it on the new Aurelion Soul. I was an Aurelion Soul main actually. I've got a level
one of the 3?
7. Yeah, I'm one of the 3. And I'm very much hyped for the rework. And I do plan on playing him with a Rod of Ages, so you gotta add him to that roster. I'm pretty sure of it.
I know you can pull it off on certain Kale builds as well.
What? That sounds strange.
Because she does like getting the levels, and she does have AP scaling, but it also just weird because she likes rushing Asher's Tooth so much, and or Kraken, because she just gets so much value from attack speed.
And the thing with Rod of Ages is you do need it very early on.
Yeah, it's like a first item, you kind of have to get it.
Yeah, the Darius is just running it down.
Darius
and
is
he's
going for the solo dive on Silas. Ends up getting out Flash and Everfrost, but he did trade his own Ghost for that.
He's just going in for the mid lane now. They are pinging. They might be catching Darius off.
That is the scary part about Darius, though, is Ghost does make you your character late game, and when you don't have that down, it becomes a lot harder to play.
That is a gigantic shutdown on the Maokai. I'd rather see it on a carry though, but they have no chance for the rest. They use everything for the Darius.
Yeah, that fight does show the strengths of TMP's team. Like, they did get a lot of value because they were able to fight in a choke, keep Caitlyn, the last one alive, but the issue is just they're so far behind it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Because that's how the fight would look for them, but the issue is just they're too far behind. They can't do anything.
I didn't expect the team mental Pepia to get rolled so hard. Me as well, because they actually shown how much, how great their team coordination can be in the previous matches. So I'm kind of astonished as well, but I think it does come down to just the matchups in itself with top lane and mid lane. And as well the decision of the jungler to focus on the top lane instead of the bot lane, but that is something we will not see, so...
And coming back to the Zyra play too, Zyra being able to zone off Caitlyn Braum there at that river rotation was really huge for the team.
Yeah.
Because what turned a really dicey invade on a Mumu became basically a game-winning play.
And especially with the Kassadin getting the kill there.
Yeah, because Kassadin got killed, he got ahead, and then Silas has never been able to catch that back up. We're seeing still that 4-level gap between the mid laners. 2 levels on jungle, 2 levels top, 2 levels support, and 1 level ADC.
And the Silas is not allowed to go just on the side lane, because the Darius will just come and kill him. Look at that. That's what I was talking about, yeah.
I like how Darius chose to hold his ult there, even though it would have refreshed. He just decided to auto him to finish him off instead.
Maybe he didn't think about it, or he just forgot.
Yeah.
Great catch on the Maokai there.
Yeah. Makai using everything to try to live, but he's just held in place the entire time. Kaisa just getting free follow-up with her ult. They got Soul coming up in a minute.
And especially like Maokai got the 900 gold shutdown off the Darius, and I just don't think that he can use it better than the Kai'Sa or the Darius. So this is very rough. Or the Olaf, I mean, sorry.
Yeah, and we're seeing the 2 hardest scalers on Troglodytes haven't even died a single time. Which on scalers is just, they'd love to have that. They're missing nothing in lane, they're getting full XP, full gold. They are down 60 CS with Kaisa, but again, she's just up a bunch of kills. She scales way better.
Yeah, the Caitlyn farm especially well. She has a great farming score the whole game long. But as we said, like 5,000 times by now, it's just 2 ahead. Or 2 behind.
That's just what the game is boiled down to. It's just they got really ahead, they had some good early plays, and they haven't been able to find anything to get back in. They can really only force plays with Maokai, and they haven't been able to do anything with that.
Yeah, and we gotta say, at that point, Troglodytes just played it very well. Especially together with the team. The team rotation they did, like catching the mid lane, disengaging a bit to let them step up, and then collapsing onto them, securing them like 5 kills, was... very well played.
Yeah, and just the emphasis on where everyone was going. Even though Mumu, didn't do too many ganks early, it's just the same thing happened with Maokai. He just didn't path anywhere that made him do anything that helped anyone out. He pathed for top, and then they couldn't even kill Darius, and they had to burn everything to get out.
They didn't even get out. That's the worst part. But with the 3 inhibs down, the super minion's gonna spawn now. Baron is still up.
Yeah, no,
They
after
can
this
just walk
reset,
down.
they should just push and be able to just end. Either if they go all the same lane, or if they go separate lanes, either or. Their team really can't stop them. Oh, and we got Cassidy going in on Silas once again.
Cassidy
Oh,
doesn't
that
even
are
have to
half-healthing Silas.
Oh my god. He has 4 items, a 2 item difference. He doesn't even have to reset. He's strong enough.
Casa when, he just got his levels and he gets his game.
That is a level 18 Cassidy. I don't want him in my team. No, I want him in my team. I don't want to go against him. That's what I wanted to say.
Still love finding those solo queue castings. They're like, hey, let's FF, even though they haven't scaled yet. It's like, you're playing a scaling chip and you want to give up? Of all characters.
Oh yeah, that's a classic. Like picking Cassidy in the lane, then losing once against like against a Talon or a Zed early game, and then complaining about like the game is lost. And I'm like, bro, then don't pick Cassidy if you want to melee fight in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's the Dark Seal first item Cassidy that dies twice in 1v1s and then gives up.
It's a classical. You have not played League if you have not encountered that.
You haven't played League until you've done that. You gotta try that out. It's an experience.
No!
You heard it here, folks. You gotta Dark Seal Cassidy and rush. First item.
You're a very bad influence.
Always fight. Always fight.
Oh, that might be a shutdown. Yes. That is
there's the perfect game. He threw the
doing?
perfect game. Ooh.
That was
all
a
greedy for this
well-played
dive.
game, yeah. I really
Well
do hope that
played.
Mental Papier does not lose the cool over this, because I would love to see the great team coordination coming to shine in the next game.
I know, for sure, and I definitely feel like they still had, if played perfectly, I do feel like TMP had the better draft there, but it just, so many things just worked out in TRO's favor because they just weren't able to get that early tempo that team would have loved to abuse, and the game just kind of was lost behind.